Hi, I'm Jan Pittman with Century 21, and I'm here today with Jill Powell, who's been an agent with our company for some time, and just want to kind of get some insight as to her experiences so far. Jill, how long have you been in the business?
I have been in the business since '99, 15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
Holy cow, that's quite a while for you, huh? So what were you doing, prior to real estate?
I had two jobs. I managed a bank in North Myrtle Beach, and I was a waitress at night.
Wow, that was a lot of work, huh? And what was your initial reason for getting into real estate?
Well, it was kind of interesting. A lot of my customers were realtors at the bank. And they were really nice, and one of them just always kept telling me, you need to get into real estate. What was interesting is he never told me to come work for him, so I wasn't really sure,
Right.
But he wanted me to get involved, and it just kind of put a lightning bulb in my head. And '99 was also the year I got married, so it was like one of those years you have all these goals, like I'm going to get married, I'm going to get into real estate, and I kind of just did everything at the same time.
Wow, so had you ever been in a job where it was 100% commission based?
Well, I mean, I don't think you'd really call waitressing, you're trying to get tips, so it kind of is.
I guess it is a little in a way.
However, no, I'd always been I always had a job that I did get a paycheck.
Right. So had you spoken to any other companies before you came to work for the Harrelson Group?
Actually, not any other companies. I had friends that lived in town that were agents, really good friends, I was kind of like their sister. And when I told them I was getting into real estate, none of them said, come to my company.
Right.
But every one of them said, have you heard of Greg and Ron Harrelson?
Wow.
And it was just, they said, Jill, if I were you, and if I were starting over, I would want to go with them. And I was like, why? And and they said they have the best training in town. No one has the systems like they do. And if you go to any other company, you're just going to be lost. You're not going to get that training. And I thought that was real interesting because none of them worked for our company.
Right.
But they all recommended our company.
It's funny. And why do you think that is? I mean, why do you think that they would work with another company but recommend us?
A lot of times I think it could just be egos, and sometimes people, it's what they know the right way to do it, but they really don't want to do it that way, I think there's a lot of different reasons, but I think after they've been in the business for a while, they could see how they could have done things differently and probably faster, and had seen people at the Harrelson Group start and right away do some major business. So that, it was the word on the street. Greg and Ron, they're going to train you.
So it could have actually, for them, it could have been very intimidating to get started like that.
I think so.
But they felt for you it would be a good mix.
Well, and they had all been agents for a long time.
Right.
So for them to go work under somebody else, that's why I think it was probably a lot more ego than anything else.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this was a really big move for you and your family. I mean, how'd you have the confidence to actually get into real estate?
Well, I've always been pretty confident, in everything. And when I first met Greg, what he mentioned was, I'm going to tell you what to say. Because I said, how am I going to know? Mine was like, I wanted to know everything, and to have confidence, you have to know everything, So I think that was the biggest, because I knew he was going to tell me what to say, and he told me, don't worry, I'm going to tell you. And he did, and it worked.
Right.
So I think that was the biggest thing. And once I had that confidence in the real estate, and I knew everything that at the time I thought I needed to know, then I just took off fast.
Right. And right now you're a buyer's agent. I mean, you've been a buyer's agent for quite a while. That you strictly work buyers.
Right. Pretty much. I mean, I actually lately I've sold 3 listings because it just happens that way sometimes. But I'm not really pursuing them. I just have a lot of past clients that know I'm going to tell them the truth, so they're going to come back to me for that. But yeah, primarily I would say 90% of my business would be buyers.
You do love past clients and referrals.
Yeah, we love them. Yeah,
absolutely.
Can't turn them away.
So, how many sales are you going to do this year?
I would think around 75.
75 sales. 75 sales for a buyer's agent is huge. I think what the average top producing buyer's agent does, 25. I mean, it's a lot of sales. It's a lot of sales. So do you think that you've reached your full potential, or you can keep going?
Definitely not. For me, I have 2 young children.
Right.
So, I'm a mom first. So I play a lot. And, this summer they were out of school. And I played a lot, but the job gives me that. Now, eventually they're not going to want to hang out with mom.
Right.
And
Imagine
I will have to work, I will work more then, but I just, the kids are only going to be young at such a, short amount of time that I want to make sure I spend all those good times with them. So I know that I could do more if I put more time, but I've made a choice to be with them first. I
But
guess.
when you think about the accomplishment of doing 75 sales a year, which is 7 times the average in this industry, in this market, and you're a full-time mom with 2 little kids, I mean, it's quite a feat.
I'm not complaining.
No, exactly.
I'm very happy. Yeah.
So what do you feel that our company has to offer you that has afforded you the ability to be able to do that?
I think I always knew that Ron and Greg, like for me, start with them in the beginning, that they were behind me, even when I made mistakes.
Right.
And, my first contract, I remember making a mistake. So, and I always knew that they had my back and that I was going to get through it. And I don't know, I think just through them, I had their confidence. And, Greg, shares so much of himself that, I knew if I needed him at any time I could call, he would, be there for me. And, sometimes we have breakdowns and different things happen and we need somebody to pick us back up. And I think just knowing that somebody's got your back is just huge. And I think that just from talking to other people and having so many friends that are realtors, I know that's not the case in other places.
Right.
And I think that's huge and that means a lot.
Absolutely. And I mean, if somebody was getting into the business today, what's the best piece of advice you could give them?
Well, if they're getting into it, first I would say, you have to love what you do. So, I really believe that's why I, do so well with real estate, because I truly do love it. I love to talk about it and do everything. So, and I never really knew that until I started. So you kind of have to get your feet wet and start. And it might look kind of ugly and muddy waters at first, because you're kind of working your way through the weeds, but once you do that and you find that love and passion for it, there's no turning back, and anybody that has that will do well.
Great. And, in like a quick sentence, how would you describe our company?
Oh gosh, I think it's like a family, and we're all different ages, we're all different stages of our lives. I mean, I'm a mom, but there's some people that haven't had children yet, single, and yet there's some that have grandchildren, and so I think that, we're kind of like a family. We all support each other. I know if I need something, somebody's going to help me with it. I don't really know who at the time, but I will find somebody, and I've never been let down. No one's ever let me down.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Oh, thank you.
Continued success and lots of fun with your family.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Take care.